Gaming and working out are two things that you'll probably never put together, but I'm going to show you today why the two are a lot more similar than you think, and that if you like playing video games, then you'll probably like working out too. So how could these two be similar? Well, the main way is progression. The vast majority of video games are based on progression. You start the game with nothing and slowly achieve more, whether it's a skill-based game like Call of Duty, where you're bad in the beginning and you slowly improve until you're calling in an AC 130 on Rust, or in a single-player game like Skyrim, where you start as a prisoner with an iron sword and fur armor, and suddenly, 100 hours later, you're an invincible myth that's more dragon than human. If progression in games scratches that certain itchy part of your brain, and it probably does, then I've got news for you. This element and constant presence of progression is the biggest part of working out, in any form. As a bodybuilder, you're increasing your performance on specific exercises to grow specific muscles. As an Olympic weightlifter or powerlifter, you're aiming to increase your performance on specific movements. Same goes for golf, or tennis, or any other sport. If you're into running, you'll be aiming to decrease the time it takes for you to run a certain distance. You start out weak, or slow, or inefficient, and gradually you progress, until one day you realise, whoa, I'm pretty good at this thing now, and you have a sick physique, or you can run a 6-minute mile, or you can deadlift 250 kilos, or you're able to put so much power into kicking a bag that it starts sounding like gunshots. These achievements don't happen accidentally, and I guarantee you that the person who's achieved them is thinking about them every single day. I mentioned this before, but video games are built to make you crave the progression, and therefore continue to play, because your brain is giving you positive feedback because it thinks you've worked hard to achieve something. Working out does the same thing naturally, and instead of just feeling like you've achieved something, you actually have. A lot of people that want to start a constructive hobby or business, or learn more about something, use the excuse that they don't have enough time. For most people that's not true, because you just go to work, come home and waste hours doing nothing specific. But let's assume that you don't have much time. Let's say you can spare just a little bit of time. Well, that's fine, because when you just start working out, you can get a lot out of just a little time and effort. But the best thing is that before you know it, you're choosing to allocate more time to it, because you want to. The most important thing about this that I've not mentioned though, is that you have to be consistent. That is the most important thing when it comes to working out, especially in the beginning. If you're scheduled to train that day, then you're training that day, because skipping sessions is a slippery slope that leads to never training again. It will also stop your progress in its tracks, which is one of the main things that keeps you coming back for more. Think about it this way. There are two long-lost twins. They both have the exact same genetics. One goes to the most expensive and optimal gym in the world, but he has a bad habit of consistently skipping workouts. His twin trains at home, doing pull-ups on his door frame pull-up bar, push-ups on the floor, and bodyweight squats. The second twin will mog the out of his brother. His results will be way better, and that's because of the power of consistency. You have to be consistent. This is where the philosophical side of this video ends and the practical side begins, because I'm going to share with you an example program that I've made that you can follow with a set of adjustable dumbbells and optionally a pull-up bar. It'll take you about 30 minutes to complete, but that really depends on how much time you want to put into it, and you'll do it 2 to 3 times a week. This program will improve your physique, make you stronger in real-life scenarios, improve your posture, mobility, and it'll make you physically fitter, all in a very small space, so it'll be easily achieved in a dorm or bedroom. There's 2 to 3 workouts in the program, and you'll want to do them on non-consecutive days, whether that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Workout A starts with push-ups and pull-ups done back to back, and if you can't do them back to back, don't worry, you can rest a little in between. If you don't have a pull-up bar, then replace pull-ups with akimbo dumbbell rows, and replace chin-ups with single-arm dumbbell rows. Resting your hand either on your knee or any surface that's just below waist level, like your bed frame. Next, you'll move on to overhead extensions and curls. Your triceps and biceps will have been worked with the pull-ups and push-ups, so they'll be nicely warmed up, but isolating them will target them primarily and mean a lot more growth. Again, these are done back to back, because while your biceps are working, your triceps are resting. This is the easiest superset in the world, so don't rest in between here. Next up is RDLs and split squats. This is probably where the difficulty of the workout peaks, because you're using a lot more muscle, and it'll be a lot more cardiovascularly taxing. That's not a word, but it only gets easier from here on out. And unless you want to be looking like Larry the Lobster, you need to train your legs. These two movements will also make your knees much healthier, enhance your fitness, and your back aesthetics. Finally, we have lying leg raises and lateral raises, because if you're just starting to work out, you probably want a six-pack, and the side raises take very little effort to improve your physique by a lot, because the shoulders matter a lot when creating an aesthetic physique, if that's something you're interested in. Okay, workout B starts with dumbbell front squats and lateral raises again to mix things up, and this will most likely get those squats out of the way for you. You can use your dumbbells for the squats and just weight plates for the laterals. Focus on perfecting your form here. If you're working out in your bedroom, you won't have any room for lots of weight plates, so you'll have to focus on mastering your form on lighter weights, which will give you exactly the same amount of gains, maybe even more. Next is push-ups and chin-ups, focusing on the lats, upper back, biceps, chest, front delts and triceps. Feel free to mix up the push-up style with a wide grip. I just wouldn't recommend doing any unilateral variations like archer push-ups or one-arm push-ups until you've gotten to at least 40 perfect push-ups. After that, we've got alternating dumbbell curls, supersetted with diamond push-ups. The alternating curls let you move a lot of weight, and they're definitely one of the most fun exercises. Just make sure you're not swinging the weights or cutting your range of motion short. The diamond push-ups will target your triceps and a little bit of chest and shoulders. They're a lot harder than they look, and they target the medial and lateral heads mainly, and will help to form that horseshoe look. Lastly, you've got lying leg tucks, which will finish off your core, and like all the other ab exercises in this program, they focus on the lower abs mainly, because they're the hardest to build, they're the least targeted in your push-ups, and getting bigger lower abs can cause you to get some ab veins showing at a low body fat level, if you're interested in that. Finally, I've written an optional workout C. As a beginner, you could get away with doing a resistance training routine like I've outlined just twice a week, on Monday and Thursday for example. But after a few weeks, I would recommend switching to 3 days a week to instill those new movement patterns and give your body another opportunity in the week for growth. Plus, it also instills the habit in you of working out. Now, you could alternate workouts A and B, doing A-B-A one week and B-A-B the next week. Or you could add this alternate workout that I've come up with. It's optional because it contains some different exercises to switch things up, but it also might require a bit of equipment that you might not have. As you can see, it starts with wide pull-ups, and if you're using the doorway pull-up bar, this might just be impossible for you. But wide pull-ups do possess some unique advantages, like how they're more vertical, so they remove some of the work done by the core, and your arms are put at a more disadvantaged position. These two factors mean that your back has to take on more of the workload, and therefore they're simply harder, and they'll allow you to train your pull-ups in a lower rep range if normal pull-ups and chin-ups are feeling a bit easy or stale. I've combined these in a superset with dips, which are one of the best chest, triceps and front delt builders there is. That's because of the intense stretch that they put all these muscles through, which is something that push-ups do miss out on. So if you're only doing push-ups, this is something you'll miss out on. You'll need either 2 chairs or a sturdy worktop to perform these then. After that, we have skull crushers and drag curls, 2 alternate arm movements that will build you some meaty arms. Nothing too crazy here, they're just a bit quirky in case you're the type of person that needs variation in your training. After that, we have pause RDLs and split squats. Paused RDLs will build you some meaty hamstrings, and the pause will mean that you'll have to train with much less weight. And pause split squats will help build your quads and improve explosive power. Again, a superset like this will also build your cardiovascular capabilities, while at the same time making you stronger, more durable, and more jacked. And because the split squats don't use much lower back, both exercises fit quite well in a superset together. Finally, we have knee raises and loo raises. Knee raises will again require either 2 chairs or a corner on a worktop. They're one of the best ab exercises, and I use them along with pull-ups and push-ups to get a pretty good 6-pack. I've paired these with loo raises, which are amazing if you have enough overhead space. They'll improve your overhead mobility and strength, build your side delts, lower traps, upper traps, and they require a tiny amount of weight, which is great for anyone that's limited in that area. Okay, that's the program and the video. If you're going to run the program, let me know. And if you have any questions about it, then leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Overall, adding working out into your life really isn't that hard, and it has so many benefits. And if you love to play video games, your brain's probably already hardwired to enjoy this hobby.